Applying for a job. This is exactly how to write a winning resume. I don't think anyone enjoys writing resumes. They can feel like painless uh, exercise in self glorification at best, and exercise in the fine art of BC at worst. You have to take all the things you done over the past 5 years and condense them into a one-page document that will helpful convince a person with hiring power to give you a job. With all this pressure and this confusion, it's easy to just plug some random facts about yourself into one or those on those online resume generation and call it a day. But it does have to be like that. I can promise you that I can make writing a resume fun, but I can show you how to do it as painlessly as possible. More importantly, I can show you how to write the resume that will cut those to the stack of hundreds of thousands and get you the job, internship, or other opportunity you want. In today's post, I'm going to give you the lowdown on resumes. I'll start with an explanation of what resume is and why it's important. Then I'll cover some common questions about resumes. Finally, I'll show you how to create a perfect resume, how the position you are applying for, and how to stand out from the crowd. Let's get started. What is a resume? As I was researching this article, I realized that I didn't know anything about the history of the resume. It's such an accepted part life these days that, much like the internet pizza burgers, it's easy to forget that it's recent inventions. Of course, how recent of an invention it depends on what you define in a resume. The word comes from the French resume meaning summary. If we define a resume as summary of job skills and experience, then the first resume dates from a letter that Leonardo da Vinci wrote to potential employees between 1381 and 1382. Resume as we know them today, however, didn't come into exercise until the mid 20th century. By the 1970s, they look much the way they today. Professionally formatted summaries of skills and experiences that were expected with any job application. Before this point, resumes did exist, but they were much more informal, often scribbled on scraps of paper. They also included information that will be inappropriate on a modern resume, such as height, weight, marital status, and religion. To read the full Aham resume of the resume history, check out this timeline from Business Insider. So, what purpose does the resume serve this day? After all, can particular employees just look up your skills and experience on your personal website or LinkedIn profile. Then can and I some cases job application will require you to apply with your LinkedIn profile, and it is always a good idea to include a link to your personal website a part of your resume. Still, the resume is a standalone document remains a key part of most job applications. So why is your resume so important? Let's have a more detailed look. Why resumes are important? Resume matter because they show potential employees to crucial things. 1. A quick summary of your experience. This is the most obvious function of the resume, but from an employer's perspective, it's invaluable. It job list specific experience requirement or a minimum GPA. Then it's easy to filter out resumes and don't include them. I can also show the breadth of experience you have and even, in some cases, signal your qualification. Someone who went to a prestigious school or internat at a prestigious company, for example, looks like a more qualified candidate, even if that isn't actually the case. 2. Your writing skills. You might think that a cover letter is the best demonstration of your writing skills to potential employees. But your resume also showcases key writing abilities. It displays your ability to condense a large body of information into a concise one-page document. It shows that you can organize information in a logical manner. And of course, a resume that's free of spelling and grammatical errors shows that you are careful enough to proofread and pay attention to details. More on the importance of proofreading later on. 5 sections that every resume should include. We get into the nitty-gritty details of resume creation later in this guide. But if you just need a quick primer on what section your resume should have and what to include in each section, here's a brief breakdown. 1. Work experience. Your work experience is critical for helping a potential employer decide if you are qualified for the job. When listing work experience, we recommended you see the following format: name of company, city and state of company, and the country if the job was outside your home country. Title of your position, dates you worked at the company, month and year is fine to need to include specific days. Bullet points explaining what you achieved at the company. Here's what this looks like in a real resume. Filling in most of this information is easy, but the bullet points explaining your achievements are where some people run into trouble. Specifically, many people make the mistake of this describing their official job duties. However, This tells potential employees nothing about what you actually did at the company. To make this information more useful, highlight your achievements, not your dates. If you can include numbers and statistic to back up what you achieved, all the better. For instance, take a look at Thomas' sample resume. He doesn't just wait. Build a YouTube channel. You could say that even if you had a channel with 0 subscribers. Instead, he gets specific and says build a YouTube channel with 1.4 million subscribers and 63 million total views. If potential employees, this number would get my attention. I'd want to interview such a candidate just to hear more about how they managed to get so many views and subscribes. Note, in addition to formal jobs at companies, your experience sections can also include any cool personal project you want to highlight, such as your website. Education. Up next, you should include a section summary, your high-class level of education. That's right, if you went to college, then no one cares where you went to high school. The only exception is if you have a master or professional degree in that case, but that before you undergrad info. Here's the format we recommended for listing your education. Name of educational institution, city, state of school, and country if you earned the degree abroad. Degree you earned, following by the field you earned it in. Date you earned your degree, if you are a recent graduate. GPA optional. Here's an example. In general, I don't recommend including your GPA if it's lower than an 3.2. If you include a low GPA, you are unnecessarily making a bad impression. 3. Skills. The skills section, if you change to showcase anything you can do, that will make you more qualified for the job. To list your skills that use this format: category of skills, specific skill name. Here is an example skills section. When writing the skills section, the most important things to keep in mind are make sure the skill is relevant. If you're applying for a job in corporate HR, for institute, your spearfishing certification doesn't matter. Make more its actuality skill. Specifically, you want to incite hard skills. Example include software you can use, language you can speak, and processing you know how to perform. Leave out soft skills such as a good communicator or a great leader. You can demonstrate those during the interview. For more tips on skills, skip to this section of this article. 4. Extracurriculars and Leadership. If you just graduate, then this is a change. If you just graduated, then this is a change to add some additional experience that weren't technically work but that are relevant to the job. This section can include format extracurriculars and leadership position at your university in your community. When listing extracurriculars and clubs, just use the format name of club and name of leadership position, if applicate, followed by the years you were in the club help the position. Here's an example extracurriculars and leadership section. Honors and awards. This last section is a change to showcase any impressive honors or awards you received while you were in college or even outside of college. Here are some examples of things to include in this section. Scholarships, honor roll, dean list, fellowships, research grants, honor associates. If the honors and awards and relevant to the job, that's even better. For instance, if you're applying for an engineering position and you were part of your school's engineering honor society, that's definitionally something to include. Here's an example honors and awards section. Common resume questions. Now that we understand why resumes are important, we can move on to some common questions students have when creating resumes. Some of these literal questions that I had when I crafted my first resume, and others are based on common problems I'll observe when helping others create resumes. 1. Resume or portfolio. For some job, a resume might not be appropriate or necessary. In my field of freelance writing, for example, I very rarely have to submit a format resume. Potential employees are more interested in what I've done. They'll usually request that I send them some links to previous work that fit the style of topics they want me to cover. But a summary of where I worked and for how long isn't normally relevant. The same is true in a variety of other industries, especially for freelancers and creative professionals. If you are applying for a job as a developer, your GitHub profile says for more than my resume ever called. For designers, the same is true of Behance. That doesn't mean resume are gone, of that you'll never need to submit a resume for a creative job. But it seems like the trend is moving more toward portfolios, which is why it's so important to have a personal blog or a website where you can showcase your work to any interested party. Above all, just pay attention to the requirement for the specific job. They'll indicate whether you need to submit a resume portfolio of their materials. 2. How long should my resume be? I know, you're reading College Info Geek, which means you probably have more babas, achievements, and experience than the average person, but that doesn't mean It's okay to create a 5-page resume or even a 2-page one. For most people reading this site, your resume should be 1 page, no longer. If you have more than 5 year professional experience, then it can be appropriate to add an additional page. But I'd avoid it in most cases, unless you are a senior level. Execute your resume should not extend 1 page. If it feels too short, then don't worry. Well, address both to make all the relevant experience fit in a bit. Number 3. Creative should my resume formatting be? In an attempt to stand out from the crowd, some students will print their resume off fancy paper, add colors and graphics, or even deliver their resume via carrier pigeon. Okay, that last one might be a stretch, but you never know. There is nothing wrong with any of the approaches per se, but in general, I recommend you avoid them. If you a designer, you know how to make a document that looks good and is easy to read. Then by all means get creative with the decision of your resume. It can be a chance to show off your design skills. For most students, however, I suggest you stick to block Arial or Times New Roman on a white background, especially if you are submitting your resume digitally. This ensures that the potential employers will have no trouble reading it. In some cases, of course, the job application will ask you include an unconventional resume, such as a video or web page. If that's the case, then go for it. Even it's optional. 4. How should I format my resume? I said you should go with back Arial or Times New Roman on a white background, but that neglects all the other details of formatting the resume. How should you structure it? What size font should you see? Do you put your contact information at the top of or bottom? Instead of trying to give one right answer to this question, I'll suggest that you use one of the 1,000 excellent resume templates that are already on the internet. Here are a few that will work for almost any job. Classic resume templates via Resume Genius. Resume templates via Microsoft Word. Google Docs resume templates via The Balance. Or final formatting app unless the job application indicate otherwise. Submit your resume as a PDF. This will ensure that the recipient can view it with the formatting you intended. My matter what operating system or software then they use to open it. 5. Can I raise the same resume for different job application? Well, yes and no. It's fine to use the same template and structure for different job application in order to save time. But you should always tailor your resume to the specific job. In fact, now tailoring your resume to the specific position is one of the most common resume mistakes. Hiring managers can spot a generic resume from a mile away. So put in the effort to include experience and skills relevant to this job, not any job. 6. What should I include in my resume? I already told you your resume should be just one page. So what do you include? Taking care of your experience and condensing it into one page can be overwhelming. The key is to topic the most relevant experience. For example, let's say you are applying for an internship at a law firm. Naturally, you won't have worked in a law firm before. That's the whole reason you are getting the internship. But you can consider your previous jobs and how experience in them would relate to what you would do at law firm internship. A job working the front desk in your born, for example, has within it all kinds of potentially relevant experiences. A job like that teaches you how to be professional, how to answer the phone, how to deal with conflict, and how to keep a disciplined schedule. All of which could be relevant to the law firm internship. 7. What is a skill? Okay, so no one has ever straight up asked me this question, but there is definitely some confusion about what a skill is when it comes to resume. So let's get something clear. A skill is a specific technical ability you have. These are not skills, good communicator, great listener, hard working. Usually might be soft skills, but your resume is not the place for soft skills. Show off your soft skills in the interview. These are skills. React development, Photoshop Image Edition, bow hunting. If you are not sure if something is a skill, then leave it out. And please don't include a skill you don't have. Your employer will find out and will be awkward. Especially it is cleaning. You speak a certain foreign language at an advanced level when in reality you took one semester of it freshman. 8. What if I don't have any experience? When students say I don't have any experience, that's rarely the case. Unless you really did spend a lot of college setting in your dorm, eating cheesy puffs and playing Overwatch. You have something you can talk about. Sometimes you just need to think outside of the box. Here I experience positions that could be relevant to a resume. Part-time jobs on and off campus. Sports teams, varsity or intramural, and kind of leadership position for a club, athletics team, student government, or community organization. Internships, self-employment, freelancing, starting your own business, even if you file it. Volunteer experience. Now, in some cases, if you are finding that you just don't have the right experience for a particular job's requirements, then it may be worth considering a different position. That being said, I encourage you to apply to jobs you don't think you are qualified for. The worst thing that will happen is the company will say no or never get back to you. If this happens, you haven't wasted your time far from it. You are doing it valuable practice in applying for jobs, and you also gained an idea of the skills experience that would make you a better candidate in the future. As long as you learn from these experiences, they worthwhile. How to create an outstanding resume. We have already covered a lot about the art of creating a great resume, but I want to conclude with a list of things that will make your resume stand out from the rest of the pile in a good way. 1. Proofread. They should go without saying, but you must proofread your resume. Spelling mistakes and typos make you look careless, and no one wants to hear someone who's careless. Go through all of the following proofreading steps. Read your resume out loud. Seriously, you'll catch so many errors this way. Paste your resume into Grammarly. This is a free program that will coach all kinds of spelling, grammar, and usage mistake. Get a trusted friend to read your resume. An extra pair of yes will coach mistakes you will never see. Just make sure it's someone who knows a thing or two about writing. 2. Seek professional help. What if you told you that you could get a trained professional to read and critique your resume at no extra cost to you? Wouldn't that seem too good to be true? Well, you're in luck because that exactly the service you'll find at your college career center enrollment at your university and titles. You to free. Basically, unlimited help with making your resume the best it can be. You are already playing for it. So you'd be fool not to take advantage of these services. Now to mention that the career center can also help you find jobs, internships. perform mock interviews, and generally give advice on your post-college plans. Pro tip: make sure that you get help with your resume well before the application is due. That way, the nice career planning folks will have plenty of time to help you. 3. Leverage your network. Of course, the best person to review your resume would be someone who already works in the company or industry to which you are applying. Finding this sort or person might seem impossible, but the key is to look to the connections you already have. There are a few ways to find the industry professionals to review your resume. Asking family and friends. You'd be surprised at the people your friends and family members know. Just shoot a quick text to your parents, aunt and uncles, cousins, however will be willing to help. All you have to say is, "Hi, I'm applying for a job at name of company in a name of industry. You would happen to know anyone who works in a similar job." If they don't know someone, then get them to introduce you and go from there. And didn't think asking for help in this way is anyone, as long as your profile and genuine. People always love to help out college students and recent graduates. LinkedIn. I only discovered this recently, but if I'd know about it when I was a student, I totally would have used it. First, log in to LinkedIn from the click on My Network. Then click CL under your connection. Next, click on CH with filters. From there, you can filter your connection by all kinds of criteria. I recommend starting with keywords, current companies, and industries to find people who would be able to give you a resume review. Once you find someone who looks like they could help, you just need to send them a message along the following lines. And your LinkedIn and network in general seems a little scarce. Here's how you can start building your network today, even if you are an introvert. Job fairs. Most college and intersites have job career fair where representatives from companies come to find prospective job candidates, conduct interviews, and give career advice. You should absolutely go to those and bring your resume along. If you are smart, you research which companies will be there beforehand and create a resume file already to the particular companies that interest you. From there you can get real industry professionals with hiring power to give you resume feedback. A sample resume to help you get started. Okay, so now you know how to create a resume, but starting at a blank document can be intimidating. To help you get over writer's block and start making your own resume. Here a simple resume that's Thomas create. Feel free to make a copy of the document and fill it in with your own work experience, skills, and education. Just make sure of proofread carefully so that you don't accidentally include any of Thomas' information. Here's how to use the sample resume. Visit the resume link to make your own copy of the resume in Google Docs. Click on the file, make a copy, and those a name for the new file. You'll now be able to edit in Google Docs. If you don't want to use Google Docs, then click on File, download as, and those the file formats you want to download. Microsoft Word, docx will be the best format for most people, as it will allow you'll open the document in Microsoft Word. Start writing your resume today. We'll cover a lot of ground in this article. I hope you now feel equipped to write a resume that will get you the job you dreams of. Or at least the first entry-level jobs you internship. That will put you on the career path of you choose. If you take nothing else away from this article, remember then you can and should ask for help with your resume. I learned too much, and you may even make valuable professional connections in the process. Thank you for watching, friend. Bye.